If you would like to, please join me for the Lord's Prayer and a Pledge of Allegiance, please. Our
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and power, and glory forever. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Brandon, roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Dudley,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Yes.
Mr. Moats.
Yes.
Mr. Singleton.
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak.
Yes. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda and the addendum, please?
Motion.
And I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Singleton.
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak.
Yes.
Mr. Dudley.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Yes.
Mr. Moats.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Kirby Graham recognition. Mr. Detra.
Well, Mr. Graham doesn't know much about this other than I asked him to come, but Kirby has, for a lot longer than I've been here, but he has just on his own accord spent hours and hours and hours compiling stats. And I'm sure he can tell you a lot more about it here in a minute. But he's also been here this year going through the basement just trying to find things, you know, that he can continue to add, and it's been wonderful. I wish all that stuff would have been up in the hallway when I was in school, you know, because it adds a whole different feel to the athletic center, you know, the names on the walls. So we wanted to do something, so we had these plaques made. I'm gonna keep one and hang up here if that's all right. Come on up, Kirby. Presented an appreciation to Kirby Graham as the honorary sports historian, a lifetime role in recognition. Now it says April 20th because, you know, we tried to do it last month.
What a title.
That's all I'm
Thank you, Kirby.
You wanna tell us how it all came about?
Thank you very much, Kirby. Yeah, sure, I'll tell you. I began coaching in the fall of 2001, girls basketball under Dave Francis at the time. And the more I was in the gym, the more people were saying, you know, I wonder who, and then they would, and I kept hearing this and I thought, well, I'm gonna find out. So I began going to the library up at Cambridge, and they have all the microfilm up there. So I just started in 1964, the fall of, and just began researching every sport we had at the time. Of course, girls didn't start till 71. And I started with girls basketball, and you just find the first game, any available stat, you write it on a piece of paper. This is old school. You go to the next game and you put the score in and who they played, where they played, and then you may find articles in there that are really interesting. You can just hit print and take them home with you. I don't know, probably took a year and a half to do one sport.
Wow.
But that's, you know, going periodically back and forth. And then I started doing stats as a staff member on the staff. I coached 12 years in the fall of '01 till current day. I still do girls and boys stats. So those are very accurate, I think. But the stuff that I found from yesteryear, there is just some amazing facts and figures that I could talk to you all day about, but I won't. But I did track down a lady named Joanna Meisner, who was the first girls coach in Meadowbrook history in any sport, basketball and volleyball. And I found her in West Virginia, and I called her and we had a long talk. And she told me stories about volleyball practicing at Buffalo, the little gymnasium. They took tires with the wheel in them 2 of them, and a net and stuck them in the holes, and that was how they practiced.
Wow.
And there are pictures of the girls' basketball team playing Shenandoah, and they were wearing jeans. That's how they played.
Yeah.
They played in jeans, and some student was the official there watching the game. So there are just all of these types of things that I have, and I have all this stuff at home in hard copy. And then I got the girls done and decided, well, let's do the boys. So I started on it. And people like Randy Lincecum, who you guys know real well, he sent me packets of stuff that thick because he kept every stat on every player. He knew everything about every kid that ever played for him. So some of the coaches were very helpful. Others just basically said, I don't have that stuff, or I don't care about that stuff. I'm not there anymore. So you have to dig. And many times I drove to other counties to look at their microfilm. Went to Barnesville, Coshocton, called Philly. They said, it's just part of the routine of digging up these stats. And then went to football and then volleyball, and people like Mike Rawlings were very helpful, who coached for years. Last year he said, I'm closing my office in Lower City. You can have all my stuff. I went over there and I have it at home. It's amazing. And I've already got through it. So without any more boredom or bothering you with any more time, that's kind of how this has gone. And by all means, if anybody anywhere has anything in the way of a stat sheet, I need them. I don't care from what year or whatever. I've had people from the past, they would shoot me a picture of an award they got, which is legit. You know, if a coach awarded some kid a free throw percentage trophy, then I took that into account. And I'm sure that there are other stats out there. Yeah, I know there are, but finding them. So while what I have is accurate, it's never complete, if that makes sense.
It's a living thing, yeah.
So that's what that's been all about, and I'm in softball now.
It's truly amazing, especially the amount of time you put. I know when I was announcing games on the radio, I was texting Kirby like once a week, hey, tell me about this, you know, then I drop it on the air like, I knew it.
That's okay. So that's what that's been all about for 22 years, and I'm still doing it. And Mr. Wheeler's been very helpful. He'll send me stats from coaches, you know, like the baseball season's over, so he'll give me those. I'll look at them, and if they make any sense with our top 10 list, they'll go on there. So we have top 10 lists in every sport of all kinds of different categories.
Wow.
And those are available to anybody. If you want them, you know, just tell me and I'll give them to you.
Who are
That's,
you turning us over to is my question when you're talking. We have to have
I
a-
was thinking about it, I wasn't gonna ask it.
I mean, we hope you do it forever, but someday somebody's
well,
gonna have to
that's
take
a very good question, and I have been thinking about it. Somebody in their 30s probably needs to get on board.
Yeah.
Right,
So hopefully you
start
can
learning
find
now,
somebody
yeah.
to.
Well, that counts me out.
I got a couple of people in mind.
Good.
But, I mean, your attention to detail has to be impeccable.
Yeah.
You cannot assume anything
Yeah.
in all this stuff, or somebody somewhere will know that you assumed.
Or somebody gets their feelings hurt, or you know.
That's happened.
Yeah, it
some.
has to be.
That's
yeah, it
happened
has to be
some, but that's
exact.
okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
like you said, it's a working process. It's
Yeah.
not perfect, but
Yep,
it's gonna continue. You'll get more information all the time.
yep. So that's kind of how that's all gone,
That's great.
and I do appreciate that.
Well,
I
thank
mean,
you.
not necessary, but I appreciate
Well,
it.
the
Well,
board's
no,
talked
thank-
about it for a while now, and it was like, yeah, there was no issue of the board not totally agreeing with
Thank
giving you some
I've
type
seen
of
some of the
recognition.
stats and I just can't believe who holds them, you know, just. you
Yeah.
can't believe-
Yeah,
That guy that still holds the all-time record for most rebounds in a game is amazing, especially with all the big guys we had out there.
Was that, who was it? Loft?
That's-
Oh, I thought that was Loftman.
I knew it was going somewhere.
That is right. What, 23?
My only one.
23, yeah, that is right. I think Lofton had 22, that's
Yeah.
why I got confused there. People will ask me at games, they'll come up to me and say, hey, who does it? I don't know. I mean, I got it,
Memorized, yeah.
give me your phone and I'll text it to you, but, anyway, that's the story behind our history in
Thank you.
sports.
I honestly, it means a lot.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you, thank you.
Thank
You
you very
can-
much, Kirby.
And I
Well-
appreciate you coming tonight. You can hang out for the rest of the
No,
meeting,
I'm
but I'm
gonna
sure
go
you're
ahead.
ready to go, so we won't blame you if you leave.
I'm gonna go. Thank you.
Hey,
very
Thanks,
much.
Kirby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kirby. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, thanks a lot.
All right, we're moved to administrators' reports. We have Mr. Golick. up
Okay,
here
I
for-
said a minute, almost. Start now. PBIS, we sent 168 students to Zanesville to bowl. Those 168 students met a very rigorous grades, attendance, behavior. Mr. Wheeler, along with a group of teachers, took them there. They had a great day, and I think it's something that hopefully next year they'll shoot for. So it was fantastic. Want to put a shout out to Mrs. Janusik and Mrs. Pointer. The prom was absolutely phenomenal. It was great. Kids were good. We had absolutely no problems. It was very good. Academic awards banquet was Tuesday. But $150,000+ was passed out in scholarships. We actually had one student get $16,000 in scholarships. So that's just amazing. So thanks to everyone who does that. And for you guys, just a reminder, graduation tomorrow night at 7, be there around 6:30ish. Probably be the same thing, have the chairs sitting there we usually do. It'll look just very similar to what it was last time.
Hey, I think,
0.31 seconds over.
hey, while we're talking about timing, and didn't I get it done in like 18 minutes last year, graduation?
It went fast.
57, and I've already been told I gotta break that.
All
I
right,
thought
that's
it was
it.
40 minutes. I thought you said 40, but you broke it or something.
I thought so too. I don't know.
I was thinking
We
he
have,
said 40.
unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, that's bad. We have 4 students speaking instead. Well, I told them.
Start making your excuses now.
Well,
I don't think
smart
the
guy,
weather, I don't think the weather's gonna be real hot.
no, it
So
should
it
be
should
good
be-
that way.
That is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as hot. All right, Mr. Wheeler with athletics.
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat a minute, but I'll be quick. Last night, we hosted the OHSA Division II District Track and Field Championships. 10 athletes just from last night qualified for regionals, and I'll be at Muskingum University next weekend, so it's nice, because the last 3 years, they took us clear down to Chillicothe, so it's back in the East District at Muskingum University. It was nice. Cami Black in the high jump, Bailey Kuhn in the discus, and both of our boys and girls 4x800 meter relay teams got out, so that's good. Saturday, we host the second day of the District Track and Field Championships. Field events start at 10, running events at 11:30. We'll have probably calculated, I would say, another 6 to 10 athletes get out to regionals on Saturday, meaning we're gonna have probably 16 to 20 different kids, which is a very high number. Also, last night, our girls played at Edison, softball that is, in the Division III District Championship. And we won, and that's only the 4th time in school history. They're on to regionals. They'll play next Wednesday at Chillicothe Union Odo versus Wheelersburg or Wellsville. That game will be at 5 o'clock. Wheelersburg or Wellsville don't play till Saturday, so we won't know who we play with. And then one more thing, because this is phenomenal. Our varsity, or high school, I guess, boys and girls track team won the MVL Small School Championship, both boys and girls. And our middle school boys team won the middle school track championship. And in middle school, it's just one big division. It's not like big and small. So, and we had 5 middle school kids go to the state for track. Spring sports, fantastic. And we're still rolling, hopefully for a couple more weeks.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to B, which is public participants, and we have Mr. Rusty Roberts with an EMA update.
Thank you, sir. I'll take the time that they have remaining.
You got 3 minutes, no, I'm just kidding.
No, it's only half an hour. No, we didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember saying that.
We had a lot going on. I told my wife before I left, I really feel good. And she said, why? And I said, I'm coming home. I mean that. I'm coming home. This district means an awful lot to me. You were very good to me, and I'm sorry if I intimidated you, but I was.
Well, I won't admit that outside this room, but.
Public record.
Oh, Jesus.
I was hard on my kids.
You were strict, but you were good. It was
Yeah,
how it should be.
I loved them all. Anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, I'm a paper person, okay? I thought maybe what I would do is just give you a little bit of a handout. This is the actual handout that I gave to the teachers. I met with the teachers and administrators to make them totally aware of what we're doing. As you probably all know, I am the deputy director for the EMA, the Emergency Management Agency. And it's amazing how many people have no idea what we do. Now, with that said, and I shared this with the administration at East Guernsey, you don't want to see us professionally. The EMA deals with emergency preparedness. There's two different types of disasters that we are aware of, would be man-made and environmental. I don't need to go any further than that. And I'm sure that all of you have a pretty good idea of what we do, okay? We're not necessarily a first responder, but we're there to give support to the first responders if something that would occur. When I was hired, one of the biggest things that Amy McCants, and I gotta tell you a little story, I always proofread her stuff. I'd read it over, and the secretary reads over my stuff because I'm real funny about typos and things like that. It drives me nuts. In fact, I was looking at a building emergency plan one day. I'm not gonna tell you what district it is, okay? And I took my red pen out because I review them coming out of education. I review them, I make the recommendation to the director of the EMA, who is now Ben Bennell. Some of you know probably Ben. It was Amy at that time, and I circled all the typos. But I didn't stop there. I made a cover sheet and I listed all the corrections on each page. And she said, well, it isn't really necessary to do that, but if we're gonna sign off on it, we want to make sure that it's right. But there's a template, as you know. Your emergency building plans were wonderful, and there was no red pen used, okay? Everything was really good. And I think we went through that, right?
We did, yeah.
Last year or something. Okay, periodically, we do meet with the county commissioners, and we do work, our staff do work for the county commissioners to give them an update. And I thought what I would do is just kind of give you an idea. This was the update dated back on the 10th. And we had a lot of neat stuff going on, over and beyond any possible spills, and we have had some, and we have to answer those. It's very, very important that we work with all the agencies and everything else, but there's a couple things that I kind of wanted to highlight. I'm not necessarily going to go through this, you can all read this to yourself, okay? I do want to tell you one story. The question, I was in Mr. Norman's class, and the question says, Mr. Roberts, how many EMAs are there in Ohio? Now, I know we got the media, but Mike's cool. He's great. How many counties are there in Ohio?
88.
88!
660 school districts, I got mixed up, yeah.
Because the question came about how many EMAs,
No, you're good. I'm glad you
agencies
said
are
it.
there, and I said, well, how many counties are there in Ohio, okay? And a lot of the EMAs stem out of disasters that have occurred in the past, and I can give you a timeline on this, but I normally do that when I go out and do presentations, because like, I walked into Cambridge High School one day, and a lady said, Rusty, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm the deputy director for the EMA, the Emergency Medical Association. And I said, no, we have to back up here, I need to explain this. But a lot of people don't have any idea what we're doing. We drive the big white trucks and with the logo on it or whatever. But normally just take that out in case there's a spill or something like that. But anyway.
You're right, the general public, a lot of times they have
Oh,
no idea.
they don't have any idea what we do. And you know what? That's part of public education. I mean, that was the reason why I was hired, to get out. And Amy one day says, Rusty, can I ask you a question? I said, well, you're my boss. You can ask me anything you want to. How do you feel so comfortable out talking to people? And I said, well, hello. I was a teacher for 40.35 years. As long as you know what you're talking about, you don't have any problems. And we're committed to that, all right? We're trying to do as much as we possibly can. Anyway, you can read that if you would like. Just to highlight a couple things. Our involvement with the National Weather Service is really important. Your bus garage has weather alerts and all that stuff, okay? And obviously, we have that in Guernsey County. But the former director and I went down to the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh. If you ever have a chance to go down and tour it, it is amazing. It is amazing. You need to go down. But we will be announcing it. In fact, the representatives from the National Weather Service will be coming in and giving we've completed our certification, and they'll be rewarding that back in June. And like I said, Amy and I did go down and we took a tour. It was really, really great. You notice at the bottom of the page, we're doing a lot of routine visits to civic organizations and in the schools, just trying to get the word out of exactly what we do. And the great thing about our staff is, normally if there is a function, a luncheon, a dinner, or something like that, training, we all go. We all go. It just isn't the director or the deputy director, it's the grant writer, it's the administrative aide, and it's everybody. So I think that really means a lot that we are highly visible. We do have shirts that have Emergency Management Agency on here, and the former director said, Rusty, what color do you want? And my first color was orange. In fact, one of the county commissioners teased me about it. I said, well, we didn't see you coming, we knew where you're from. So I was gonna wear it.
Are they orange?
Yes, I got an orange shirt. You're right. I didn't get a blue one.
That's right, good.
Well, you don't have to say it like that, okay? But anyway, I think that would kind of give you an idea of where we go. We really, on behalf of the agency, we really appreciate the opportunity to get into the schools. I did an in-service for some EMA directors that's having problems getting out in the public, and in particular, getting into the schools. And they called and I did a little in-service for them, and the comment was made, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, there's a process that you need to follow. You just don't walk into the school and insist that you come in and have the capabilities of talking to the students. I went to the superintendent, made sure he knew exactly what was happening. Then I went to the building administrators, and then feed her down to the individual teachers. So they had a real good idea. They did a nice job as far as introducing it and some good questions. But in Steve Norman's class, one of the students knew how many counties there were in, and I was impressed because nobody else knew that, okay? And then we got into townships, township roads and county roads and who controls that, whatever. So kind of made a little geography lesson out of it. They didn't know who the school board members were. They didn't know how many school board members there are. They didn't know how many county commissioners there are. Now, when I taught, they all knew the public officials because I think that's important to do. But in today's day and age, it's very difficult to find the time to do that. I realize that, so. Any questions at all? Okay, the shorts, we really appreciate everything that you do for us.
Same here.
You're welcome, Kevin. Anytime you need us, non-professional, professional, or whatever. I did do the drill that you had at the high school, wonderful, and got involved in that, and everything went really well. They have a stranger, you know about that. And anytime you want us to come down and help you do the drills, or anytime you want me to come in and talk to you about, give you updates or whatever, all you have to do is let me know. The phone is on 24/7. Now, I do need to apologize. I have another meeting to go to.
Oh, no.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm kind of funny. I like to stay for the whole meeting. It's just a matter of due respect. But I do have another meeting. Appreciate everything you do. Your building projects is gonna be wonderful.
Thanks,
Thank
Rusty,
you.
appreciate everything.
Yeah. thank you.
Ever need to talk or float an idea,
Do you work with the local fire marshal? Do you have much involvement with them?
the only time that we would have, okay, let me clarify something. We don't go to all the emergencies. All right, if there is a car accident or something like that on the freeway, we're not called. We're called when, there's loss of life or property, a lot of property.
Yeah.
Like,
Catastrophic.
normally when people see EMA, they think about FEMA.
Yeah,
Okay? Okay?
yeah.
And I think more people understand, they hear the word FEMA, even though they may not even know what it means. other than the local EMA office.
Yeah.
So we would go to, for example, in Muskingum County at 6 o'clock this morning, there was a semi-accident, all right? I didn't know about it. My former boss said, Rusty, are you out there? And here it was in Muskingum County. Well, obviously Muskingum County has their own EMA, so they're gonna handle it. Mutual aid, yes, they could call us and we would go. I was very surprised in Columbia County when they had the derailment that they didn't call us. I called them and I said, do you need any help? Because we are here to help you. Because, I'm sorry to say, we may get into a situation one of these days where we may have to call them. We work very, very closely with Erica Rossiter down in Noble County. Eric is a wonderful person. All the EMA directors do a great job. Thing about the EMA is, I talked to our supervisor one day and I said, it seems to me there's a lot of turnover. And we have to go to school. You know, we have to get certified to do all this stuff. It's hard. Some of it was online. Majority of it's online. The other portions is in-house, and it's like 2.5, sometimes 3 days. So there's a lot of people that really don't want to spend the time. But the comment was made, if you make it 5 years, you're normally okay. You're gonna be safe.
Now, Ms. Beckner, she was there a long time, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
in fact, I ran into Jerry, and I want to compliment Jerry. Jerry did a great job. And
She was there a long time,
She
right?
was there for
I
a long
thought so.
time, and I pulled her aside, she gave me a hug. Well, we were at the Civic Center for the activity for the Area Agency on Aging, all right? And I gave her a hug, and because, yeah, she did a good job. And if you recall, I did the air and water testing for the University of Cincinnati, which we incorporated in our classroom in the science department. And if it wasn't for Jerry, I couldn't find the injector wells. We did the air and water testing around injector wells and all the creek beds and creeks and whatever you wanna call it. And Jerry, so I was in and out of that office a lot and really thought, when they approached me, I thought I knew a lot about the EMA, but no. I didn't have any, I mean, I think that's true for a lot of jobs. I didn't have any idea the multitude, and most people don't either. You know, we were always busy. Ben's gonna do a great job. You know, he's coming out of the background of EMS, and there is I'm supposed to say this, but there's gonna be an EMS levy on in November supposedly. This, you know, the city, Cambridge City Corporation, when it's got theirs passed, so there will be a community. Mike, I never said that, okay? I'm
This
supposed to.
is recorded.
Okay, he's my neighbor. I'll slap him.
I don't know if that'll do you any good.
All right, do you have any questions at all? You ever have any questions, there's always somebody in the office. I only work 3 days a week, okay? So I'm out and around everywhere, other than your superintendent and whatever. Okay,
Thanks, Russ.
no, thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you, Mr. Roberts.
Love you too.
Thanks, sir.
All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Gregg, Treasurer's Report.
All right, first of all, like approval of the minutes, from April 20th and May 12th, special meeting, approval of the finance report for the month of April, approval of the then and now certificates, and approval of the May 2023 updated 5-year forecast. And I had talked to Devin some about it. It's looking better. The state funding is starting to kind of come in place, but every time I ran it seemed like it changed, so fingers crossed it will work out in our favor.
Far, far better than the last one.
Yeah, so like I said, let's hope that, you know, this summer we have some more definite answers.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for items A through D, please?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Humphrey,
Yes.
Mr. Moats?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Okay, you got items E
Yes.
and F now.
So E and F, E is, just recommending renewal of the health, dental and vision insurance, no changes from the current year. Mutual Health, they really wanna keep us, so they end up starting with an increase, but we got it down to a slight decrease. But the insurance committee agreed to keep rates as are, that way if claims come in worse than, you know, predicted, we'll be in good shape or better shape to start next year. And then, also keeping the broker the same, the Schwinman Agency, and the district used them for years, and they've been really helpful for the employees, so just leaving everything as is.
Okay, well, we're gonna do E and F together then? Do you wanna do E?
Yep, that
Okay.
works.
Do I have a motion for items E and F?
Motion.
Second.
That.
Brad,
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Dudley,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey,
Yes.
Mr. Moats.
Yes.
Mr. Singleton,
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak.
Abstain. All right, we are going to standing committees. First off, we have policy. Matt and Darren, do you have anything?
Yeah, we got something we'd like to.
Yeah, we've been looking at different policies and such, and we want one that we would like to add into plays, or we'd like to make a motion to, or we'd like for the consideration for the board to take a motion to add it into policy. The policy is, no administrator shall receive additional pay for duties related to their position without advanced approval from the Rolling Hills Board of Education.
Okay, so you wanna make a motion to add that
I
to
will.
our policy?
I will make a motion.
Make a motion, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Moats,
Yes.
Mr. Singleton,
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak,
Yes.
Mr. Dudley,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Yes.
All right, we're down to athletic. Brad and Mike, do you guys have anything under athletic?
You can have
I
it.
can have
No,
that.
the AD spoke about it, they're
Yeah.
going well
Yeah.
in those sports.
Okay. I don't think we have anything under, well, student achievement, Mike,
No, no.
Mid-East?
students were done as of today, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mideast, no, nothing, for them either.
I don't have anything under personnel, insurance, or negotiations. Matt, do you?
No.
Building and grounds, Brad?
Getting ready to break ground, aren't we?
Yeah, that was a nice ceremony
Yeah,
too.
it's very good.
That was a very nice,
Got a
groundbreaking
lot of
ceremony.
positive feedback on
Yeah,
it,
but I didn't know what to expect, but I enjoyed it, and, it went well. Okay, audit, we don't have anything there. Community outreach, Darren, Matt?
No, Brad, do you know if they've took care of that gas station issue yet? Has Bisville looked at that?
I don't believe they have. I'll check for you.
It's drug out quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep kind of
And
forgetting
it's-
about it till we,
And it's kind of between them at this point, because it's in
The
the
city
alley and the
and,
village was gonna
fires.
take
I mean,
care
I
of
was,
it, but
I was
don't-
under the impression, the administrator said, yeah, we're gonna do it, just, you know, I know it's a busy time for the village right now.
It's not-
Do we-
Stop there and get gas, like, you know.
I was gonna say,
That's
do
all
we
they
have
have.
somebody that can check into that? I mean,
Well,
should
Brad
we,
could ask
can
his
you,
brother.
can you ask your brother? I put it in a nice way, but
You
that's
did.
what we were getting at. Okay, Brad, if you don't mind asking your brother to check on that one. Thank you. Okay, business advisory.
We had the wrap up the Business Advisory Council the other day. 88 students either had pre-apprenticeships or certifications in the county this year, which is crazy considering a few years ago that was
And that's
something that had
with
never
our-
happened before.
That's with our
The ESC runs the council for us, but our career navigator is the way I think you were going. Yeah,
Yes.
she runs a lot of that, and of course with the principals, and and it's great. Students, and you'll see tomorrow, students are now leaving not just with associate's degrees, but with certifications in welding and STNA, and
that
it's
associate degree
ballooned.
amazes me. That's
Yeah.
that's really something that
It's ballooned.
kids
but,
can, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different high school experience than all of us.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. We don't have anybody here with transportation, food service, on to old business. Is that, yeah, Rebecca McIntyre?
why those on
I think.
I was wondering, I
There
thought-
was a typo on the last one, it was for the 22-23 school year.
Oh, that's right,
23-24.
yes, yeah, I'm sorry, there was a typo last month and it was written wrong, so you've approved this already. But, it was adjusted to be for the correct school year, so if we could vote on that again and correct it to
Do I
future
have a
tense, not
motion
past
for
tense.
old business?
I'll move.
Do I have a second? Roll call.
All right, Mr. Humphrey,
Yes.
Mr. Moats,
Yes.
Mr. Singleton,
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak,
Yes.
Mr. Dudley.
Yes.
All right, we are to the superintendent's report.
All right, obviously a lot of employment going on in there, and I'm sure you've all read through it, but a couple just to call your attention to. Tracy Jackson will be leaving her position as secretary at the middle school and will be our district nurse, starting next year. She was an RN with a student in the past, so it's not a strange move for her, but it's definitely good for the entire district. We had to take her out of the union for 2 years while she gets the actual certification, but she'll eventually go back in. Also hired Mr. Jones as business teacher. He'll be able to offer business CCP moving forward. B, sadly, we are losing some great staff members, mostly from moving and, family things, but, there's some definite losses there. Accept the following donations: $2,000 from AMG Vanadium for the STEM program at the high school, which we're grateful for, and $1,000 from Glen Road to the FFA program, which we're grateful for. Updated admin agreement, we're still kind of fixing little things we're finding in that. This is simply about administrator contracts, but no changes in pay or anything, just how it's written. Approve the AstroTurf renderings and invoice as presented. That is gonna look amazing and like nothing else around here. Approve updated 23-24 calendar, the addendum to the treasurer's contact, and addendum to the superintendent's contract as presented. So A through H, please.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Singleton,
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak,
Yes.
Mr. Dudley,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey,
Yes.
Mr. Moats.
Yes.
Nothing under correspondence. I'm gonna let you have the information.
Yeah, information on, I just wanted to thank the board. We were forced into a legitimate 2-minute special meeting the other day to make sure we got something adjusted on the shack and keep it legal with Bricker and Eckler and everything. And the board was good enough to not only come in and meet for 2 whole minutes, but also to donate their pay for that 2-minute meeting back. So thank you. And also, as I mentioned earlier, today was students' last day, tomorrow is staff's last day, and then we start the summer. Let's get ready to do it all over
It's been a
again.
blur, hasn't it?
It has.
All right, we don't have any executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Moats,
Yes.
Mr. Singleton,
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak,
Yes.
Mr. Dudley,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Yes.
And the next board meeting, June 15th at 6 PM. Thank you.